Hey, this is Brett. What we're going to do is we're going to go over a little country riffs. I like to call it disgruntled country, because, you know, country sometimes can be a little too happy, and, you know, just by the end of the night you want to punch somebody. So I like making riffs a little more aggressive. So what you do is you add a little distortion. You know, about that amount's good. And which is typically is not cool in country, but, you know, we're going to change things. So again, gain. Gain is good. So what we did right there is I incorporated a technique called chicken picking. Some people call it hybrid picking, whatever. I'll just show you the basic way to use it with, you know, an A chord. So what I do is typically I'll use my fingers for the upstrokes, my pick for the downstrokes. Now that's not always, you know, I don't do that exclusively. You can mix it up however it feels comfortable for you. And typically the fingers will do string skipping runs or something like, you know, when you're going from, so on that, like I'm, you know, hammering on, and then I'm going down, I'm skipping over a string, so I'll use my my ring finger to get that note. You know, just, you can start to apply it to things like that, and as time goes on, I would start with just the pick and your middle finger, you know, kind of spice up country a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, and we're gonna, let me just show you like a little riff. Okay, so right there, I'm gonna work out of what they call the extended blues scale. Typically what it is you're just taking a couple of positions in ordinary pentatonic scales. I think there's 7 or 5 or something like that, and you know, whatever it takes. You end up using like 2. So anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna chain those together to make something, you know, hopefully sound cool. So what I'm gonna do is show you the typical position. That's typically that everybody knows that. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add, you know, let's take, you know, 8 more notes. So we got the first 4 I'm gonna add are the G and the A on the E string. To those of you who don't know notes like myself, that's the 3rd and the 5th fret of the 6th string. And then I'm going to add those same frets on the A string. And once again, 3rd and 5th. So all together right now we got. And then also I'm going to add the 10th fret on the E string, the 8th fret, 10th fret on the B string, 10th fret on the, or I'm sorry, 10th fret on the B string, 8th fret on the B string as well. So we got. So typically you see people do that. They'll go like, you know, that's one way to chain them all together. Those are my favorite areas to play on the guitar. Obviously there's other, and I'll show you other riffs in different positions, but that's really a staple of where I like to stick on the neck. I like it when the notes are a little down lower. You know, I'll play higher up on the neck, but I like the bigger sounding notes. So anyways, but first let's get into a little easier rhythm style where you can incorporate both your fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a typical A string or A chord, and then I'm going to hammer on that. So we're gonna go. So I'm just hammering on to the A chord, and I'm with my middle finger and ring finger, I'm plucking those notes and then hammering on with my first finger. So we got. Now in the thing I played in the beginning, I'm actually pulling off first and then hammering on, so I'm going. So the first 2 are pull-offs. Open, and then you're gonna, with my pick, I'm gonna hit an open A string, and then I'm gonna pull off with my ring finger and my middle finger, and then open A, and then chord again with my finger. So, and then I'm gonna complete that pattern with a hammer on. So all together, it's. To speed is. Now one thing I'm doing there is for a little percussive value, I'm adding a little hand muting. So we got. Now one thing I did to spice that up a little bit is I threw in from an A major pentatonic, which is the same position I just showed you, and a different spot of the neck. So it's right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take notes out of that, or out of the A chord, and I'm just going to pull off. It's not that specific riff, but that's what you can do. You can go from the 4th fret of the G string to the 2nd fret of the G string. You can pull off to the open note. This is why I like A too, because it really lends itself to using open strings, which is really cool. So you can do that same pattern, and then you can just mix up the notes with your fingers. So like. Alright, so on that I went. Wait, no, actually. So I go. So again, that's. I've never slowed this riff down, so let's try this again. There it is. All right, so we got. So we got open, hammer, hammer on the 3rd and 4th of the A string.
Hammer, hammer.
Hammer! Right, MC, hammer. Okay, so we got hammer, hammer. Can't touch this. Alright, so anyways, we got. And then that G string I hit with my ring finger. So we got. And then I'm going to hit an open D string. And then pull off with it. And then I'm going to hammer on. So we got. Again. The fingers. So in that particular run, I'm only using my ring finger one time. Pluck that open G string. So again, up to speed. Okay, so that one, kind of the same idea. On the G string, I'm incorporating a hammer and a pull off. So it's open G to the 2nd fret. Pull off. So you're coming back to the G string. Go back to the D string, 4th fret, pull off. And then go from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the A string. And again, I'm grabbing that G. I'm always hitting that G string with my middle finger, or your ring finger, whichever is more comfortable for you. Or you can just pick it. But we're trying to work on using our fingers, so try to do it with your fingers. Do something, bad sounding like that.